There's someone that wants to speak, and I'm going to allow them to come in and speak. So you may want to have a fresh sheet of paper in front of you. Good day to you all. And a wonderful day it is. My name is Mr. Swedenborg. I know that a lot of you like names. And when we spoke with others, we would share with them the uselessness of names. But today, young Mr. Falcone wanted to share with you some of my words. And the words that he is going to share with you, I will not take up the entire time, but the words he's going to share with you is the idea of good works and love. Good works do not always imply love, because many people do good works to serve themselves. And love, when love is with good works, love nurtures, love benefits all. But when good works do not have love in them, then these good works are not of the Lord. They are of the individual. This does not mean that those good works are bad or anything of that nature. It just means that those good works serve them. And a good example of that is when you choose to assist someone because it makes you feel good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not of the Lord. Those good works that are of the Lord serve all. And that is the topic of his talk today, is the good works and love. Now, he defines love as nurturing, and so many of us should have followed suit with his definitions. But we did not do that, because everyone knows what love is. Or so we assume. The Lord is love, because the Lord seeks to assist all of you, regardless of your intentions, regardless of what you have done to others, regardless of anything. However, it is not the Lord that brings himself to you. It is you that must bring yourself to the Lord, and your good works that do that, because you are created to come to the Lord, and your good works that are for the Lord will bring you closer to the Lord. Each of you have created the Lord in your image. Throughout all time, the Lord has been created in the image of humanity. And humanity can only create what it sees. Humanity creates themselves in the reflection of the Lord. And the Lord is their source. The expressions of the Lord are seen in the uses that you do, in the works that you do. And when your works are there for all, you are coming closer to the Lord. And when those works are not for the Lord's sake, they do not take you further from the Lord. No, they don't. But they do not bring you closer to the Lord. I want to thank you and your friend, Mr. Falcone, for allowing me to share this with you. And there was a young lady here, and I don't know if she's still about. Oh, the young lady is not still about. Hey, looks like I've got a little bit of time here. So I want to draw, well, our lesson. I want to draw from Emanuel Swedenborg's Divine Love. And he writes that to be human means to perform good works to the neighbor from the Lord for the Lord's sake. And the way I interpreted this is to be human means to nurture, to assist, and to be kind, and to do all of this on behalf of the Lord or the divine. And whom does the divine serve? And who are us? Everybody. Everybody. Yes, everybody. And I don't know if you've read any of the occult writings, but in many of the occult writings, they separate mankind from humankind. And humankind assists others. Mankind tends to serve himself or themselves, self-serving. There we go. Mankind tends to be self-serving, whereas humankind tends to serve everyone, preferably equally. And I'm hoping that it's equally. It would make sense. Does that make sense for all of you? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. Someone like to explain it to me? Is mankind a subset of mankind or others? In the occult writings, humankind is here. Mankind is here. We evolve into humans in the occult writings. Trying to think here, what would be a good example? Oh, yes. In the Tarot, since many of you are familiar with the Tarot, okay, from the death card, actually from the Chariot card, all the way forward to the Tower is all about purging yourself, getting rid of these, they call them the lower things, the lower aspects of ourselves. But what it really is getting rid of the distractions. And when you move from those distractions, I believe after that you begin to move into the star. And that is the beginnings of the steps into becoming human. The world is the capstone. Actually, the fool is the capstone into entering humanity. But until that, we all move through the lower, what they would call the lower realms. And a lot of people are under the impression that the devil card represents the devil, and it doesn't. It represents bondage. And how you are bound, how you have bound yourself to all of these distractions. Now, these distractions are greed, hatred, and all of that sort. All of those things that are self-serving. And this is all in the occult writings. Now, when a person moves into humanity or becoming human, they go through this purging process. The crucifixion of Christ is a representation of that process, because the old part of you, all of that has to die in order for you to ascend. And that's what it is. You are ascending. Humanity is the reflection of the divine. Mankind is a reflection of, I don't know. You can call it the powers that be, or I don't want to say animals, because that's incorrect, because most of the animals out there are of a higher nature than most of us are. Or many of the people, or mankind, I should say that. Does that make sense? Have I lost anybody? I know I feel like I'm moving around in circles here. Is that making sense?
Well, it's hard to understand because really don't have a lot of role models. I'm trying to think of any role model in my lifetime, and I can only come up with Sister Teresa as a representative of humanity.
Okay. Well,
Mother Teresa.
let me
Mother
see here.
Teresa.
Dalai Lama is a role model. Let me see here. What's his name?
Well, Sadhguru,
Pardon?
Sadhguru, I would say, was a role model.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them.
We listened to him once years ago.
Okay.
When we were doing Zoom, we had a thing, somebody, and you probably.
Probably
there.
me.
And I do listen to him on YouTube every now and then. So it's pretty interesting.
There are many people who do good works, who inspire us to do good works. There are many. We merely have to open our eyes. They're the ones that inspire us. I'm trying to think, who inspired me?
Is there anybody in our culture?
What do you mean by our culture?
US of A,
The US of A?
yeah,
Jimmy Carter.
very good. I would agree
Yes.
wholeheartedly with that one.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Bill Clinton, Obama.
Yeah.
Did you say Bill Clinton?
Yes, I did say Bill.
No, he's mankind, for sure.
Clinton.
Well, I think he did, I understand what you're saying. I think he did a lot of good works. He did do a lot of good works, but I'm not sure if it was to serve.
People get this Monica Lewinsky thing
Yeah. it's
all
that. Yeah,
messed up in it.
it's not even that. I mean, that was a bit of a fall
I mean,
for him, for sure, but he did a lot of other things too, that, like good things, I think. He's pretty smart guy.
And I know of a lot of people who don't like it,
Oh, I'm sure, a lot.
but I liked it.
I liked him too. I like him too. You know, did he make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes. Yes, he did.
God makes mistakes. We just gloss it over.
Just look at the armadillo. That's a mistake.
But yeah. I mean, people that inspire.
I know there's others, I'm having trouble thinking of who also, but.
A lot of people would say the Pope. Pope John, the last one, I think, that's John Paul, I think that was, I don't know, I can't
I liked
remember.
him.
I mean, they are there. But the thing is that you cloud your vision by your expectations and your beliefs. And the idea is that everybody's beliefs are going to be different. I saw a meme today or a post today on Facebook, and in this political cartoon, this nurse is asking this person, is there any mental illness in your family? And the person's response was that, yes, I have a sister who believes that Trump was born Christian. It sounds amusing, but it's very derogatory.
Yeah,
Very derogatory. There's no sense of love. There's no sense of nurturing. There's no sense of goodness in that.
oh,
I have wondered. You know, he gets so much attention, so much press. But I have wondered if we are not just energizing.
Bingo.
The ability to influence others.
And
yes.
if we all ignore it, we go away.
Well, you know, if we were to ignore someone, would that be the right thing to do?
No, but he has always said that he doesn't care if press is good or bad, press is press. And as long
And
as,
he's correct.
as long as his name is in the public,
And he is
and
correct.
he does not care whether it's good or bad press, it's always pressed in.
He is correct. He is correct. He's not the first one to say that either.
I'm sure.
Everybody remembers the Jackson Five, and the Jacksons.
Right,
I mean, and their father was their manager for a long time. He kept them in the spotlight, whether it was scandalous, sensationalism, or whatever. But his belief was that so long as they are in the press, in the eye of the public, people aren't going to forget them.
mhm.
And it's true. It is true. Let me see here. What would be a good example? Gosh, can't think of his name. Oh, well. I can't find a good example. But that strategy, as Ray pointed out, is very useful. Is very useful. Okay. And the larger picture here is that someone of that ilk who is extremely popular, what is the message that goes with that?
Not a good message. to
You know,
me.
that's the thing you have to keep in mind. What is the message that goes with that? What is the message with the Dalai Lama?
Oh,
Okay,
Peace.
what is the message with that?
peace and love, absolutely. I just listened to him the other day, a
Okay,
couple days ago.
and then you've got the other one. What is the message with that?
Oh, hate, hate,
Exclusion,
yeah,
inclusion.
exclusion, yeah.
Okay, now-
Separation,
Division. Mhm.
division, yeah, exactly,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And what is happening in various parts of the world? Which is the stronger influence here?
I hope it's the peace and the love side, but it doesn't quite feel like that.
This doesn't make it into the news.
No,
No.
no, you're right.
This does. They're having riots in Europe.
Yeah.
The Netherlands, I
Yes.
think it was.
Yeah,
Riots.
Yeah, places that,
So,
that tend to not, you don't hear about, don't do those kind of things,
yeah,
yeah,
Sweden,
yeah. Yeah, really?
Sweden, no, it was mass shooting or something. Sweden,
You know,
Sweden,
yeah, it's a shock,
now, keep
and
in mind,
Canada.
yeah, I know, even Canada, yeah.
and this is all part of the cycle. Everything in nature happens in cycles. We've seen this kind of rhetoric in our history. And I don't want to go to just Hitler, but there are other well-known names. It's all part of a cycle. It's not to avoid these people. Because if you avoid these people, you don't understand them. And if you don't understand them, you don't understand yourself. Because everybody was like this. Everybody that's like this was like this. Everybody that's all about peace at some point in time was all about division. Because before you can understand life, you have to understand death. And before you can understand death, you have to understand life.
Hmm.
It's not that they're two sides of the same coin. They are two sides of the same coin. But what happens when you discover that the coin is both sides? So that carried us off a little off topic, but was it is it helpful?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts then, Sandy?
Well, it's a rather heavy subject. You wouldn't think it is, but it is. And one of my favorite role models that I've read many books about her is Eleanor Roosevelt. I absolutely adore her. I think she's one of the most amazing women that's ever lived. And certainly, gosh, to aspire to be like her, she was marvelous. So just throwing that in there. And to give the message that she always gave, the positive, she just was never ever negative. She was so positive. Is a wonderful thing. I can't say I understood everything that you said, but it's definitely food for thought, and hope, and a hopeful message that even though it kind of feels like we're tipping to the to the other, to the dark side. I just hope that we aren't, and just kind of, it's up to all of us, I guess, to be putting out and living that light. And it's real hard when you feel bombarded by the darkness. But that is the hope that, there are more people that embrace the light than live in that dark side, I guess.
Here's a little something to keep in mind. And I don't know where in Revelations this is at, but I know it's in Revelations. And it's written in there that better that you were either hot or cold, but since you are lukewarm, I spit you out.
Hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Better that you care one way or another, whether or not people agree with you, and to not care at all, or to hide your care.
Because
And
I'm not sure,
nope,
but better that you are in peace and unification, or division, hatred. Better that you are one or the other than a mixture of both. Because if you're a mixture of both, you are utterly worthless. Because there's nothing to learn from you. You have nothing to offer. Because one cancels the other one out. And where Mr. Trump is concerned, he's consistent.
Yes.
He's consistent. You have to respect him for that. He is consistent. He's not flip-flopping all over the place. And I've seen many presidential candidates that flip-flop all over the place, depending on where they're at. Utterly worthless. So just something to keep in mind. And what are your thoughts, Ray?
I have nothing to add, I agree with that, all that.
Okay. How about you, Beth? What are your thoughts?
same.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what are your thoughts, Sharon? Wow, this is unusual. I must have really, really confused all of you. I apologize for that.
Think so? No, I think so. I think we get the idea.
Good. Good. Because Emanuel Swedenborg's work, it takes some contemplation. You really have to think about it. And I'm going to leave you with this. The Lord himself must draw a person and join that person to himself. Therefore, loving the Lord as a person and not loving uses, meaning the works, is what it's about. When a person simply does good works, nurtures, is kind to others because it is the correct way to act, is joined with what that person believes to be the Lord. They do not act as a representative of the Lord, but embody the Lord. And that's my interpretation of those two lines. And I want to thank all of you for allowing me to share that. And I want to thank each of you for adding your thoughts to it.